maybe just sitting here at home thinking about our homeboy, Will Shakespeare. So I know what you're thinking. Did she really sit around thinking about Will Shakespeare at home? How lame. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do sit around thinking about Will Shakespeare. Do you have a problem with that? Okay, sorry. So anyway, you probably know that Will Shakespeare by now because we've been talking about him. And if you've been paying attention at all, you know he's written some pretty famous plays. But he also was a famous poet, and he wrote sonnets. What is a sonnet, you ask? I'm so glad you asked. A sonnet is a short poem about a single thought with specific features regarding the poetic verse, rhyme scheme, and meter. There are two major types of sonnets: the Italian sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnet. Sonnets originated in Italy, and the word sonnet actually comes from the Italian word sonetto, which means little song. But since we're in the middle of our Shakespearean unit, we are going to focus on the features of the Shakespearean sonnet. Okay, so now I'm going to list for you the features of the Shakespearean sonnet. If you haven't been writing anything up to this point, you might want to take some notes. This might be on the quiz. So here are some things you need to know about the Shakespearean sonnet. They're also called English sonnets. They consist of 14 lines. They're written in iambic pentameter. Shakespearean sonnets also have a very specific rhyme scheme. The first 12 lines have alternating end rhymes. So if you were to assign a letter to each line, the pattern would go A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F. This means that lines labeled A would rhyme with each other, the lines labeled B would rhyme with each other, and so forth. The last two lines are a rhyming couplet, meaning that both lines share the same end rhyme. Okay, now I'm going to break those down for you one at a time. The first one. What are Shakespearean sonnets called again? Another name, hint, hint. English sonnets. Write it down. Shakespearean sonnets have, how many lines was it again? 14. 14 lines. Write that down. Here's a quick review on iambic pentameter. Even though you probably remember it from previous lessons, I wanted to go over iambic pentameter with you one more time just to make sure that you really had it down solid. Iambic pentameter is a poetic meter in which it's made up of 5 iambic feet. An iambic foot, no, not that kind of foot. The real iambic foot is made up of 2 syllables, with the first syllable being unaccented and the second syllable being accented. For instance, like the phrase, I am. In an iambic foot, it would be like, I am. First unaccented, the second accented. Just like a pentagon has 5 sides, every line of iambic pentameter contains 5 iambic feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with 2 syllables per iambic foot, 1 unaccented and 1 accented, this gives us a total of 10 syllables per line. Another great way to remember the poetic meter of a sonnet is that a lot of sonnets are about love. Not all of them, but most of them. And the poetic meter of the iambic pentameter with the unaccented and the accented syllable mimics the sound of a beating heart. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So that is 10 syllables of love stared right at you. So now we're going to talk about the rhyme scheme of a sonnet. Here are the first 12 lines of Sonnet 18, one of Shakespeare's most famous sonnets, which we will be analyzing later. But for right now, I want you to take a look at the letters that I've placed next to the lines. Line 1 I labeled A, line 2 B, line 3 A, 4 B, line 5 C, 6 D, and so on. Lines A, you'll notice, end with the words day and May. Because these words come at the end of lines A, they are called an end rhyme. A sonnet, or a Shakespearean sonnet, the first 12 lines have alternating in rhymes. So that means that every other line should rhyme with each other. I've now added the final 2 lines to the poem. You'll notice first that they are indented, but that they both still contain the 10 required syllables following the iambic pentameter pattern. These two have matching end rhymes back to back, and when we have matching end rhymes such as in these 2 lines, the words see and thee, that is known as a rhyming couplet, and all Shakespearean sonnets have the last 2 lines that are rhyming couplets. So here's a quick review on the verse and meter of Shakespearean sonnets. Shakespearean sonnets are also called English sonnets. Shakespearean sonnets consist of 14 lines. They're written in iambic pentameter, that is 5 iambic feet of 2 syllables each, unaccented and accented, and if you'll remember, it sounds like a heartbeat. Ba-boom, ba-boom. That's 5 iambic feet with 2 syllables each, or 10 syllables of love. The rhyme scheme for the first 12 lines is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F. And the rhyme scheme of the last 2 lines is a rhyming couplet. Rhyming couplet. They go together. Still iambic pentameter. Hint, hint. Write that down. So that's all I have for you guys today on the verse and meter of the Shakespearean sonnet. I hope you took good notes because I think I hinted a couple of times there is going to be a quiz.